Saturday. Then Joe and I leave on the next Tuesday.
Okay. All right. Well, happy Easter.
Yeah.
It may just be the four of us.
Okay.
It's fine.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's fine. It's fine.
Now, I want to know, of course, we'll have to ask again when, oh, here comes TK. You know what I found out, you guys, last week, Bob wasn't on, Bob Ampel,
Uh-huh.
and he sent me an email that he wanted me to resend the link, and I wasn't paying attention to emails. So
Yeah, I got an email from him too.
I have to do that. I have to every once in a while pay attention to that as well. Okay, let's see.
So Jimmy, you're going back to Washington already.
Already?
Yeah, already. It's early April.
Well, it doesn't feel like you've been in Hawaii very long.
Since December, early.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Next year, we're talking about going or coming here in October.
I wouldn't come back till the 1st of June, especially if I lived in where you live in Washington.
How much room do you have there in Hawaii? We're living up here in Wisconsin, Jim, so I was curious.
How much what? Rain?
Much room. We've already approached that subject.
Yeah, we've already tried.
He told us he could find us a hotel.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, right. Well, we only have really 2 bedrooms.
Oh,
We only need one.
Yeah, right.
Oh, remember how Jane said we all piled on top of each other? We could.
that's right. Yeah, but that doesn't stop us.
No.
Of course, now we wouldn't be able to get up when we were on the floor.
That is correct.
Well, if you guys are serious, so we can figure out something.
Maybe next year.
Definitely next year,
Get a place to be.
Yeah, maybe.
maybe.
Okay.
Does everybody have TV on now?
No.
No.
Why, what's on television?
What's
Well,
on TV?
The game starts, doesn't it?
No.
Not till
our
tonight.
time.
5 o'clock our time.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Oh.
five.
Oh.
Yeah, they're only down to 4 now.
I thought it said it was starting now.
No.
Really?
Let's see.
Probably just the gab.
Oh, it starts at 2
Yeah.
o'clock. Yeah. Okay, that's 5 o'clock. your time.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
going to submit all. Felice says she's on, but I don't. There's Nancy.
And I, Christy and probably Judy won't be here today.
Okay. Let me see here. Let me, when you get a minute, thanks. Huh.
Look at that ponytail.
Yeah,
What's the date of the cutoff?
he hasn't even made an appointment yet.
Why
Oh,
don't you
I've
say-
got an appointment for the 16th.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, he said that. I
Good.
couldn't remember.
good.
Yeah.
Of course, he's
That
going to the
before or
lake.
after vacation?
Before. I think his brother told him he couldn't come if he looked like a hippie.
Oh.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He doesn't.
Wait a second.
He
So
doesn't.
what?
You think you ought to keep it, Tom?
I think you ought to too.
Well, I will tell you that I was, of course, Jim, you've been sending us that fantastic music. I don't know, did you guys like any of that music?
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because the weight and the band, that's one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah.
And I was amazed at how well they did that.
Yeah.
But then I was telling my neighbor next door, and he is
He's a rock and roller.
he's a television videographer freelancer, but he works most of the time for CNN, or no, I mean
No,
ESPN,
ESPN.
ESPN,
Doing the car race.
and mostly NASCAR.
Yeah.
He used to do IndyCar, but anyway, he loves, and he's a lot, got to be almost
15, probably
15 years
15 years
younger.
younger than we
Anyway.
are.
but he absolutely loves classic rock and roll. So I was telling him about this music, and so then he sent me some stuff. The Doobie Brothers and
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Dave
There she
Mason.
is.
And man, I tell you, it was really good. And all these guys had long hair.
Well, yeah.
And I'm thinking, well, what the hell? Maybe I don't cut it.
Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't.
But it's
I think you ought to put his ponytail up here,
it's
though.
bugging me. So I'll tell you,
Well, make you a band bun, a man
Yeah.
bun.
Yeah, there you go.
it's
I draw the line there, Tom. Man bun, no.
the
Protest.
Oh, come
Tell
on.
us, TK.
it's
Ponytail is good.
Yeah,
Ponytail's
ponytail's good.
yeah, it's still not quite long enough on the side, so
Yeah.
it can't all pull, and then it'll fall down.
You can put little barrettes.
Well, you can put barrettes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
Barrettes.
fall out to his hair so
I
fine.
just need to get some, what do they call those? Bobby pins?
Yeah, Bobby.
Yeah.
Well, barrettes.
Even
Bobby
You
pins.
fine
could
Bobby.
you could get a pink and a blue barrette.
Yes.
Pink and blue beret, okay.
Jane Ann, what do you think of his hair? Is it
I
okay?
don't care.
Okay.
I
That's
finally got
good.
mine cut. It's like, glory, hallelujah. She must have cut like 5 inches off my hair.
Yeah.
Jane, your hair looks the same every week.
Oh,
Yeah.
it
It does
just
look
yeah,
the
a
same.
mess.
It looks perfect.
Oh,
It does.
she was cracking up. She used to cut my hair years ago. And then she left and went to Colorado and I lost her. And I finally found her about a year ago again. But yeah, she was cracking up when she was cutting my hair. Never seen it that long.
Okay, I think Bob Van Pelt's getting on.
There he is.
Yep,
There
there
he
he's coming.
Now, how
There's
many
Bobby.
of us on
Oh.
right now went to IU? Just three, 2, 3.
Hey,
Didn't go to IU.
Jimmy, you
Matter?
didn't go to
You're
IU.
lying.
Yes, I did. MBA.
Oh,
Oh,
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Well, I was hoping that maybe Bob, hi, Bob,
Hey, guys, how are you?
Hi, Bob.
since
Hello,
you kind of
everybody.
had some of the, someone on the inside, I don't know if now if you are allowed to talk about, kind of how it all came about, but it'd be really cool if you could tell us a little bit about how all that happened. And for those of you who
What
aren't
happened?
living here and don't know what's going on and don't follow IU. So they got rid of their coach. They had one private donor buy out a $10+ million contract of the coach.
oh.
That must have been Jimmy.
Just to get rid of him?
Just to get rid of
Get
him
rid of
Get
a
him.
rid
year
of him.
early, and then they
Yeah,
hired a new
done that.
coach. And he's a former player, NBA coach, always coached in the NBA.
Only.
He was on one of the championship teams. Isn't that right, Bob?
Yes,
Yeah.
he didn't win a championship, but he was between the 81 team and the 87 team, I think.
Okay. Okay.
Just 4 years. Guy from Broad Ripple Town, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh,
my
yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
So anyway, Bob, and since your daughter was kind of like on the inside there, can you talk about how it all finally worked out or how it happened?
I can't say too much, Tom, because I don't know too much.
Okay.
My daughter Kelly is Associate Athletic Director at IU.
Go ahead and fake it, Bob. We wouldn't.
Was that?
Well, unfortunately, we're recording this and it's going to end
Yeah,
up on
yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah, right.
Like I
Yeah,
said, if I
remember
knew
that, folks.
anything on the inside, I'd tell you. But she has to obviously be very private.
Yes.
So they are negotiating all weekend. They are slowly eliminating candidates that aren't coming. Del Harris and I had a great conversation on Friday. And some of that was the IU job.
Yeah.
And Bo and I talk a lot about it. Kelly obviously can't, but one of the things that was going on there, guys, is the synopsis by the people that knew what was going on was that it wasn't going to be a good fit for a major college coach who is in a successful program right now. Because when he comes in, he's got all the pressure in the world to get it going right now.
Oh, yeah.
Several of the IU players had already entered what's called the transfer portal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which means that you can go to another school
Mhm.
by a certain date and be out of there with no obligation whatsoever.
No penalty.
Okay.
So,
Yep.
one of the key guys is a kid named,
Jackson Davis?
Trace Jackson Davis, I think is
Yeah.
his name, TJD.
Uh-huh.
Big kid that plays in the middle. Dad played in the NBA and for the Indiana Pacers. And
Pretty good.
so that becomes a key link. A lot of noise, guys, hang on.
boy and a little girl.
They got it now, okay.
Who's
So
talking?
they are talking to several IU guys. Keith Smart was one of the names that was mentioned.
Oh, okay.
Dan Dockage maybe got a peak, but nothing major.
Mhm.
There are 4 or 5 guys that are being considered. As the thing goes on, Woodson becomes the obvious choice. Because Woody had been a great player in the NBA. He had gone through a lot of the developmental stuff with some of his players. He had coached international players. He had coached big guys, small guys, and this had been there, 10 or 11 years, I think. Maybe he played 10 years and been in the league maybe 30.
Yeah.
But as it came out, I get a call Sunday afternoon about 2:00. Dad Kelly. Yes, ma'am. How are you? Congratulations on the new coach. She said, Dad, I'm on the way to San Antonio. Our girls team is playing down there tonight. It was Monday, actually. And Scott Dolson, her boss, is the immediate athletic director. Scott and I are on a charter plane that Cook Company provides all the planes for IU athletics
Cool.
and the university. So we've got some people on a charter plane. We're going to San Antonio for the girls' game at 9 tonight Central Time. So we got an extra hour. And ironically, we're going to meet Bo, my brother there, who happened to be in Dominican Republic the week before, playing golf. And Bo had flown in to San Antonio because that's where the event is today and this week.
The
He made the
Valero.
cut.
Scott had come up magically with a ticket for Bo. And they meet for a sandwich before the game. And then at the game, there were several people immediately behind the bench just to the right before you get to the scorer's table. And I asked Bo and Kelly if that was them. And he said, yeah, we had this social distance and all that stuff. But they had not seen each other, guys, because of COVID for 17 or 18 months.
Well, that's great.
And it was unbelievable. So the IU team got beat, but then today, Arizona, the team that beat them beat Connecticut. So
Oh, I didn't know that.
that was last night.
Okay.
Whoa.
60-59, Jane, last night. Great game.
Damn, we should have watched that.
And the
Dang.
little
That's
point
good.
guard, I think, is named McDermott. She's a little scooter, and she had 37 points, any number of assists and all that kind of thing. So it was a great game. But yeah, I mean, that's about all I got, Tom, on that.
Okay.
So was the old IU coach that bad that somebody would pay $10 million to buy out?
He
his-
had given him 4 years. He had 4 years out of a 7-year contract, Jane.
Mhm.
And he had some incentives there on his termination. And I don't remember his number, maybe 6.5 million a year or something like that.
Mhm.
I think it was
So
years
when it all
20.
came down, there was a termination clause in there. And one of the scenarios that we were trying to create was Scott Dolson, again, his first year as athletic director. Good guy, started out as a manager for Bob Knight in 1984 when I first met him. So Scott has got to pick up the phone and call an alumnus who I still don't know and say, we're thinking about terminating this Archie Moore guy. Well, Scott, I think that's the thing you should do, and been very successful. Hasn't recruited well. They only have one recruit coming in from next year. He's from Cincinnati Moore, big tall kid. And we've been reviewing his contract. And there's a buyout clause in there that's $10.3 million. Would you and there's got to be a tremendous dead space. While the guy's thinking about this thing. And
Yeah.
then eventually he comes back and says, sure, we got it.
Oh, jeez.
Now, again, that,
You take 10
for a guy
million.
that's been there 30 years, maybe, but a guy that first year's athletic director,
Yeah.
that's got to be a hell of a call to make.
Yeah.
Now, the
Yeah.
scuttlebutt is that it was, what's the guy's name from IU that's on Shark Tank?
Mark Cuban.
Mark
Mark
Cuban.
Cuban.
Oh, he went,
Oh,
I didn't know he went. to
That's the
IU.
scuttlebutt.
Yeah,
yeah, he
and
went to
there were,
IU.
IU business.
Oh, some other rumors, Tom, and it might have been the Cook Company.
Yeah,
Oh,
Cook
it could have been
Incorporated is
the
a
Cook
$1 billion
company.
company.
Oh, that
John
would have been
Cougar
nothing to
Mellencamp
Cook.
might have kicked in some of it, but John's net worth wouldn't allow that, so. There
I
are
guess
some really
out
powerful
of-
people that graduated from IU.
Yeah.
say
there
that
was-
again, TK?
I guess that's all out of our league. They're talking about those kind of numbers.
Yeah.
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 Would you walk away for $10 million? Oh, sure. Tomorrow, today. A little known fact, when Bobby Knight was hired, it was open for a lot of people sent in their reservation. Yeah, right.
Resume.
Resume. And Del Harris, the Earlham coach from 65 to 74 that I played for 3 years, and Bob knows well, and maybe others of you at least heard of him. Anyway, he went on to become an NBA coach. He's in various Hall of Fames. He applied for the job and didn't get it. They hired Bob Knight instead.
yeah.
So, he was obviously successful. So
Del Harris was only 27 at the time.
yeah, he was 27 when he came to Earlham, but he took the Earlham job because the president offered it to 27. I mean, I was a non-traditional student. I was almost as old as Delmer when I got there after Vietnam. So very unusual.
Tom, how old were you when you came back?
Not old enough and too old. So so I got out of the military 1 August 67. I was born September 20th,
23.
44. But they tell me I looked young at the time. So no one knew at Earlham except guys on the team, Delmer, maybe Betsy knew, I don't know. Her mother thought, why are you going out with a trained killer? And we're all Quakers anyway. And easy.
He didn't
No,
say
she's just kidding. Anyway, I was 23 and I was there till I was almost 6. But
She said a lot of things, but she didn't
She
say
said-
that.
you guys are supposed to be laughing about this because
It was just the opposite for me. I was 24 and out of grad school when I went into the Army, and all those guys were like 18,
yeah.
just out of high school. It was just, geez. It was unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was in
Good days.
24 to 26 years old. So. Geez.
They finally got a job.
Well, they were back to the IU coach thing. They've had some fantastic, I don't know, Susie, if you've had a chance to read any of them, but they've had fantastic articles in the Star about this since it all came down.
No,
They had-
I haven't read it. no.
Oh, they had a really good article in there about how they recruited Bob Knight. And then Hamill wrote a separate article. I don't know, Bob, did you read those articles?
Yes, I did. I
Yeah.
actually circulated some of them, Tom. I don't know who got them,
Yeah,
but
those were great articles.
yeah, tremendous stuff.
A lot of really cool stuff about them recruiting Bob Knight. It was
Yeah.
really neat.
I came back after the football injury. I came back in 1970. So IU was building Assembly Hall in 71. One of the guys that I played for in college was a guy named Phil Dickens. And Phil was there my freshman and sophomore year and then got terminated. And there were some things going on he should have been terminated for. But we had good teams that never played well.
What?
But out of that, I got to know a guy, and some of you probably heard of him, he's legendary, named Bill Armstrong.
Yeah.
And Bill Armstrong had started as a spinoff of the IU Alumni Association, the Varsity Club.
Yeah.
And the idea in the charter of the Varsity Club, not for profit. All contributions are deductible. Major gifts, whatever you want to give, we'll figure out how to get you the deduction. And
Mark Dooney.
ironically, my daughter Kelly, I think, has been down there 16 or 17 years now. She and her husband live in Bill Armstrong's house.
Ah,
So I met a guy named Dave Martin who passed away last week. And Dave was in 1961 and graduated and finished his career at IU. Defensive Player of the Year in the season of 1960 or 61, but was kind of under his wing with Bill Armstrong that someday you're going to be my successor in this thing. So Dave Martin and a wonderful lady named Jody Friend had just finished their tenure with the varsity club when Scott Dolson and my daughter Kelly came in with Anthony Thompson, great football player, Mark Deal, another great IU name, and had kind of moved the IU varsity club forward and had changed some of the charter and that kind of stuff. But it had been, I don't know, God, what, 51 years, I guess, since that thing was started. And it is major. I mean, it's been, they had a lady, a Simon daughter named Skolnick, I think is her name.
yeah.
She had given like 32 million to remodel Assembly Hall. They had a guy named Ned Fall gave 15 million to remodel the IU golf course and build a new clubhouse. They had a lady, and I can't remember this name now, but where the cannons were outside the stadium, they took all that away and put a unity statue up, bronze sculpture. And that gift, I think, was 15 or 17 million. A lot of the guys that were with me, and we were a little bitty donor, but redid all the clubhouse or all the locker rooms and all the meeting rooms and re-equipped the whole football stadium underneath. And then actually my daughter Kelly, if you look at the stadium, away from the scoreboard, the major scoreboard, my daughter Kelly's office and the varsity club office looks right down on the football field at IU. So it's been a real transition. Now, I was involved as a board member with the varsity club, also on the IU Alumni Association, was honored to win an award called the Clevenger Award, which is for a IU former athlete who has contributed his life. It's a lifetime achievement award kind of thing to making sure the university and the athletic program goes better. So of all the things I've been honored with in my life, that's the one I value most.
Wow.
That's cool.
Grants.
Yeah. And Jane sent me a nice note the other day, and all of this stuff, guys, if you care about it, it's a big deal. If you don't care about it, it's kind of insignificant. But again, from the time you got to know me, and probably middle school or junior high, everything in me says athletics. Helping kids get a start, coaching, helping assistant, that kind of stuff. And so it's been a tremendous life work, I guess is what you call it. Thank you, Tom.
Yeah,
Mhm.
of course. Let's see.
Something deep.
Something.
Okay.
Story.
so-
Jim Hoke here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Jim, I was thinking about a story the other day.
Oh,
I have a Hall of Fame award hanging above my desk here, and the Hall of Fame award that's hanging here is from the Wayne County Golf Hall of Fame.
Oh, my gosh.
And I was never a very good golfer, but I've been around golf since Dave Thurman and Scott Porter and all those guys played in high school. And, we'd play some in Glen Miller and that kind of thing. Well, I have a tremendous friend, an IU guy named Terry Cole, who's passed away now. And Terry was a running back from Mitchell, Indiana. Terry and I get to know, again, at Bill Armstrong's house, a guy named Jack Lear. Jack Lear was a tremendous amateur golfer, played all over the world, not as a professional, but as an amateur. His playing partner was a guy from Memphis, Tennessee, named Jack Lear, named Jack Lupton. So Jack Lupton and Jack Lear are the two guys involved. Jack Lear is a high-powered oral surgeon. All over the world, tough cases, fly me here, fly me there, get me set up, I'll take care of it. So they make a tremendous amount of money. Jack Lupton's about the third highest guy in Coca-Cola. And one of Jack Lupton's ideas, he's going to build golf courses around the country, pardon me, ladies, that are men only. So Terry Cole and I are at an IU event.
I would never play that.
No.
We're at an IU event and we're hanging out at a place called Yukon Jack's in Indy. And Jack Lear comes up and says, and he's imbibed at that point,
Mhm.
and says, I want you guys to come to Zionsville tomorrow and meet me out there about 10 in the morning. So Terry and I go out there. Jack's in a Gator golf cart or utility cart.
Gator,
We're riding I get stuck in the back.
Florida Gator.
He's beginning to excavate a course in Zionsville, very near the airport up there, Tommy Executive Airport,
Yes, yep.
called Wolf Run.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
In the middle of this golf course, there are wolf cages.
Oh, my gosh.
And there are black and brown and all kinds of cages for wolves that are being treated better than any human being I've ever known. But they are amazing, and they've been rescued from animal shelters and trapping things and that kind of stuff. So this golf course becomes a tremendous men's only, pardon me, ladies, golf club. So Terry Cole and I go to this utility trailer, and Jack says, give me $100 a piece. So we happen to have 100 apiece for one time in our life, and give him $100. We said, what was that for? He said, well, you guys just became charter members of Wolf Run.
Oh,
We said, great, when's it gonna be finished? Because at this point, it's excavated and there's not a blade of grass. Sand traps have no sand and no locker room. Any of the amenities are not there. So he gives us a date, I'll put you on a team for opening day and so on and so forth. So we join. Now, in this thing, they have two levels of membership. They have out-of-town members, which I was and Terry was because he was living in Bloomington at that point, and people that are there and want to be full equity members in a golf club. The memberships sell like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Probably 300 members right off the bat, and 50 to 75 of us, names like Larry Bird, Jack Trudeau, Terry Cole, Bob Van Pelt, these guys that are hanging out. So in this group, there's a guy named John Raitt, R-A-I-T-T. And I don't know if any of you know that name or not, but John Raitt was a big baritone Broadway singer.
Oh, yeah, Bonnie's
Bonnie's-
dad.
What's that?
Bonnie Raitt's dad.
Okay, yeah.
Bonnie Raitt's father.
Okay.
John would come into the Murat Temple and the theater downtown and do a 3 or 4, weekend shows and stuff. And he thought, God, this is going to be a hell of a spot. I'll join. And obviously a reduced member. So my locker, Bird's locker, Terry Cole's locker, Jack Trudeau's locker, and John Raitt are kind of in a row right there. So every now and then we would run into each other. And in 1982 or 3, I'm listening to a conversation, and somebody's talking about his daughter, Bonnie, and how she's doing really, really well. So I decide then that I'm going to try to figure out who she is. And beautiful redhead gal with a raspy voice, and I don't know if any of you like her, but I've been a great fan of hers all my life.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And she is wonderful. Now, Jim Hope in there's a story called A Song for You. It's a documentary, and it's about Austin city limits
Yeah.
and how that all got going in Austin, Texas. One of the understories of that is how all these people wound up in Austin instead of Nashville. And they were seeking out unique writers, unique musicians, people that were on a little different beat in life. Willie Nelson is one of the people that recorded over there all of his life. And he made some stuff in Nashville, I'm sure, but it's just a tremendous story. And it's well worth a look if you're a music fan and like those people. A lot of love it. And
Oh, yeah.
oh, I don't know, Statler Brothers, Bonnie Raitt, Willie Nelson. I don't know.
Yeah, Nancy
You
Griffin.
guys probably all know, but Willie Nelson is a legendary dope smoker. So they tell stories in there about Willie. When Willie's in the studio has a unique odor. And Bo has a friend in the music business who actually played at Grand Ole Opry named Pat Green. And Pat Green is a country and Western singer, mostly Western. A lot of cowboy stuff and that kind of stuff. But Pat tells a wonderful story about Willie Nelson in a studio in Austin. And Pat is in an adjacent or a neighborhood studio from where Willie Nelson is. Willie Nelson's got a sound engineer in there. His old beat up guitar that, I don't know, he's got a name for it, I don't remember what it's called. But he's got everything going on in there, and he is making an acoustic album of every Hank Williams song that they can put a name on.
Oh my gosh.
Now, the album has never been released as far as I know it. But Pat Green tells a story that he's got a round ashtray, about a 9-inch ashtray. And he's got 6 joints scattered around this ashtray to light up and to get into a little better mood.
Yeah.
And Bo and I are just cracking up when we hear this story. And he said, honest to God, guys, he recorded all these Hank Williams songs. They never did a retake. He knew all the lyrics by heart. He knew all the chords by heart. And it was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. But, you know, as far as I know, the album has never been released.
I'll be darned.
But that's a Willie Nelson story for you.
I'll be darned.
Okay.
Well, now, Bob, is this a documentary kind of thing, a song for you?
It is. Yeah, it sure is.
Where,
And I can't remember the guy's name. It started, Tom, they started in a small theater in, or PBS actually, and everybody said it'll never work.
Yeah, right.
Well, I don't know what it's been, 25 or 30 years anyway.
Mhm.
And they have gone through the thing, and it's a little bit like the Ryman, they had a tremendous fire there. So they had to seek out a bigger and better, the audience was controlled at like 400 or 500 people. Tonico maybe is this guy's name. But he said one of the unique things was we came down and we got our people getting ready to get set up. And there's people lined up down the street and around the block and maybe down another block, waiting to get in on the first night. And then the fire marshal comes and gets them and says, hey, you guys got to change this because you got too many people in here. So they knew they had to find another place. Well, then somewhere along the line, the theater burns down. So they had to find another location, more seats and that kind of thing. But it's well worth seeing. It's really good.
It's a, look it up on Prime Video if you want to watch it.
It's called
okay.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. It's
Austin
also on
Story.
Tubi, which is
nominated
one of
for
my favorites
6
with all the movies and stuff.
awards. Yeah.
Really, really good. Yeah.
Hey, Bob, what happened to the wolves?
We
Yeah.
won, yeah.
Yeah.
The golf
What
course
happened to
wolves.
the wolves?
The Wolves.
The wolves.
You said they were in a cage.
That's
What
men's golf
happened to them?
course. No,
Oh, Ron.
Oh, great. Hello, guys. Yeah.
He's still
What happened to the wolves, Bob? The ones at the golf course?
In the cages.
Oh, you mean now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are good. Out here. The mask or the shields are gone for the employees.
No.
Mask only. Mask only.
Not the wolves.
You have visitors from the outside.
Tommy, take over. Come on.
They can come into our rooms. We are still 0, 0, 0 all the way across the COVID.
Cool.
All right.
Okay, good,
Good.
good.
All right.
That's it.
Okay.
I'm stopping.
Tommy,
No,
see
wait,
if you can find
Bob,
out.
before you stop, everybody has one last question. They want to know if Wolf Run is still a viable course today, and what happened to the Wolves?
Wolf Run has become a housing addition.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was so expensive time to operate, they couldn't do it after his membership dropped down.
Needed
And
women.
obviously, if you're a man going home and telling your wife you're a member of a all men's club and your wife plays golf, she says, no, we're not gonna do that.
No, hell
So the
no.
membership kind of waned down. Jack Lear passed away. Any of you that follow golf at all, Jack Lupton, the Coca-Cola guy who owned the Phoenix chain, the Phoenix Bottling Company. And that's a great read. It was called CBE or something like that. Coca-Cola Bottling Enterprises in Phoenix. But Jack had built a golf course in Memphis, Tennessee, actually called, or Chattanooga, called Ottawa, Tennessee. And it's called the Honors Course. It's one of the most famous courses in the world, and they now have women involved.
Yeah. Oh,
But
good.
they've hosted all kinds of tournaments, the Ryder Cup, all that kind of thing. And he had built them, internationally. The two of them have golf courses all over the world.
Bob,
Jack has passed away probably 15 years ago now, Tom, maybe 12.
Bob,
TK.
TK, while you're still holding court, I wondered if you would, I want to thank you for the invitation to the auditorium series at IU. That
Tom, you had to enjoy that.
Betsy and I really enjoyed that. And I wondered if you'd tell the rest of the folks what that was about specifically. Probably most people have heard of the film Hoosiers and what this particular auditorium series was about.
The Indiana Auditorium has a series of programs. Because of COVID, they've done a lot of them online. So I get an invitation for a guy who's actually a friend and an acquaintance of ours named Angelo Pizzo. Angelo Pizzo is the writer that wrote most of the story of the story Hoosiers.
The script, yeah.
The premise of this thing was Hoosiers turned 35 years old, what, Tom, a week ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was in the paper.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember what.
Yeah.
And while you guys are on there, I apologize for not sending it out to everybody. But I just couldn't do it. I didn't have enough invitation to take care of all of us. But Angelo comes on to a Zoom chat, being interviewed by a friend of his that's a radio broadcaster.
Mr. Sheets.
And they start with the story. And the other IU guy, Tom got anyway, they have a story, they have a script. Now, those of you who are familiar with the movie business, you got a script of a movie and you have an idea of how it goes together and you've done writing on a screenplay. Now you take it out to the movie people in LA and Austin, Texas, and Minnesota, and all over the place. And everywhere they take it, they're getting rejected. So they finally wind up with a guy that underwrites the movie for them, wants to change a few things. And Angelo says, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to maintain the integrity of this story because it's an Indiana story and it has the Milan team that upset South Bend Central, or whoever it was.
No, Muncie Central.
Muncie
Muncie.
Central.
Central, yeah, okay, yeah. But anyway, a guy named Bobby Plum makes a shot. Plum makes a shot at the end of the game. And he becomes Jimmy Chitwood in the movie, if you remember the movie. So they're casting the thing. And in the story that Angelo's telling, they go to see Dennis Hopper.
Yeah.
And Dennis Hopper is coming out of drug rehab. And I think, Tom, they weren't convinced that he was all the way out. Is that true?
I think there was some suspicions that he
That
didn't know.
he was still involved, yeah. But anyway, they typecast him as a guy named Shooter who's a town drunk and has a son on a team and all that. And the casting of the movie is perfect. The characters that are in the movie are the characters that should be in the movie. And I don't know, Tom. I mean, that's about what I've got, I think.
Yeah, and he asked him a lot of questions he asked Angelo a lot of questions about how he came up with it, how these ideas would work at the time the movie was actually made. A lot of it had to do with, I think the guy that was interviewing him, who was part of the organization there that's doing this stuff, was also from, I think he was from Versailles, actually.
Yes, yeah, Southern Indiana,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
So they all thought it would work because in part, that was a long time ago now. But
Yeah.
it was before they turned Indiana basketball into classes,
Right.
A, B, C, triple A, all that stuff.
Back to the evolution of the varsity club at IU.
Yeah.
I meet Angelo Pizzo and several other people involved with the IU alumni and the varsity club. Well, Angelo, as it turns out, has got a son named Quinn Pizzo. My grandson, Jackson Yearling, goes to IUPUI. And Angelo and his son, Quinn, who I met when he was 10 years old, at Cog Hill in Chicago, they came up to follow Bo in the USAM. But I've watched this little guy grow up and followed his golf scores online and all that stuff. Winds up a teammate of my grandson Jackson at IUPUI.
Oh my God.
So before my health started going downhill, I used to go watch college matches and stuff. Angelo and I'd walk around and tell stories about Jack Lear and Jack Lumpton and Bill Armstrong and Dave Martin and all the people we've talked about today. But just a great, great guy.
So how do we get this auditorium series, or can we?
You can. Tom, if you go to IU Auditorium,
Okay.
I don't know how many more they'll do online, but they have a schedule that will come out periodically. I think it's every 3 months. But it's jazz, vocal, artists, Broadway.
Mhm.
And you remember where the fountain was in the middle of IU's campus on 10th
yeah.
Street?
Yeah.
That auditorium's been remodeled like everything else there.
Oh my gosh.
And the seating has been increased and that kind of stuff. I had a speech class in the IU auditorium in the back end there where all the
Oh my God.
props and all that was done, and turned out to be good because you got to see a lot of beautiful people in there doing their art and stuff. So
Interesting.
kind of a cool deal about IU.
Well, I've got a real quick one then on the whole thing about Milan and Muncie Central. So when I went to work, I finally got out of the service, finally went to work. I was at a CPA firm and I worked for a partner by the name of Terry Broadwater, and he was from Muncie. And one day I didn't know much about Terry. Eventually became real good friends, had a lot of fun on some jobs of his. But anyway, he always wore this ring on his right hand. And one day I asked him, I was, what is that ring? He says, well, I was on the team, the Muncie Central Bearcat team that lost to Milan.
Wow.
32.
He was their shooting guard.
Yeah.
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 So he didn't like to talk about that.
I imagine not.
And the other thing that's funny, you were talking about Wolf Run. So Jane Ann, when we got here, after a short period of time, she went to work for this company called McBroom Electric. And these two gentlemen started this company. We're still running the company when Jane Ann was there, but the son of one of the founders.
Bob Lyon, is that the name?
No,
Richard McBroom.
Richard McBroom,
Well, Richard already belonged to
Crooked Stick.
Crooked Stick, and he had become a charter member of the Downtown Skyline Club.
Yeah, Columbia
Well,
Club.
then Wolf Run comes up and he wants to join that thing, and that's going to cost more than the others cost combined. And his dad tells him, well,
No.
if you're going to do that, you got to drop one of them. So he comes to Jane Ann and says, hey, would you like to take over my membership? If you would go down on, you'd be down on the rolls as a charter member of the Skyline Club.
Yeah.
So we became members of the Skyline Club for what?
Not
A
like,
$40
I don't
transfer
know,
fee
yeah,
or something
something like
like
that.
That's awesome, guys. What a
so
good
that Richard
story.
McBroom could join Wolf Run.
Yeah.
That's our story about Wolf Run. Okay. All right. So now, what's everybody doing for Easter? Anybody doing anything special?
Dinner
with the family.
Think kids.
Grandkids.
Oh,
Okay. Well, Jane Ann's going to get cards, but we don't do eggs or candy or anything.
Yeah, he didn't want to buy me a whole bunch of candy and be sick.
We did a potluck on the deck last Saturday night here in
Oh.
Dayton, Ohio. It was like 75 degrees.
Yeah.
Nice.
And all the grandparents were there and we'd all had our shots, and our son-in-law that's a coach and teacher, he'd had his shot. My daughter had one of her 2 shots. So we all felt very protected and
Good.
quite different from a year ago when we walked into her house where the food was set up, and we walked in units, like my husband and I went in to the
Yeah.
house to get our food. We had Clorox wipes. We wiped all the spoons and serving things down. This time we didn't do that at all. We did eat out on the deck, but it was quite nice. Yes, quite
Good.
nice.
Yeah.
So has anybody really started to radically change the way they've been doing things in the past at all? But what are you doing, Jane?
Well, I went a year without playing any card games, and now I'm playing cards about 3 times a week with the
Cool.
people without masks.
And all those people have had their shots?
Right.
Yeah. How about you, Nancy?
Same thing. Our clubhouse finally opened up, so it's like, open the doors and let the cows come home. No, the Canasta Club started, the Travel Club started. I mean, I'm busy. I am gotten real busy, which is fun.
yeah.
I also.
The majority of the
went to
people
movies.
here do have their vaccine, so.
I
But
went to the movies too.
I haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
Have you?
Yes, I went to a movie last week to see The Courier, and it was excellent.
It was?
There
I've
were
heard
10
about that.
people- There were 10 people in the theater.
Okay,
True
that's what I
story.
want to do next.
Yeah,
That works.
true story.
Okay.
Hey, Tommy.
I got to go to Kroger's this morning inside the building.
Oh, good.
Woo!
There you go. Wow.
Okay, Tommy, I want to know who you're going to root for this afternoon on the
Oh, no
Final
question.
Four, Baylor or U of H?
Oh, without question, Baylor.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. See, those of us who are IU fans, we don't have anything against Houston and the team and the players, but we can't ever root for that coach because he came in after night and absolutely trashed the IU
Oh, I didn't
program.
know that.
Oh, yeah.
yes. Yeah, he did.
He had come from Oklahoma where he'd gotten fired for cheating, and then he immediately turns around and starts doing the same thing at IU, and then he
Yeah.
gets caught at IU, and it just killed that program.
Yeah.
When he left,
Their team just looked weird.
yeah, when Kelvin Sampson left IU,
Mhm.
there were only like, and that's when Tom Crean came in, there were only like 2 players left.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
It was
Yeah.
unbelievable. I'll never forget that picture in the IU or in the Indianapolis Star, showed a picture of Crean and these 2 players, and then it showed all these blank,
Yeah.
blacked out where the other players would have been, all gone.
Yeah.
Basically, Crean had to start completely over.
Hmm.
I'm sure you know all about that, Bob.
Yeah, I remember.
And they didn't make any bones about it. There was a recent
No.
article this week in the paper about that.
Hmm.
Said something about, do any of us here in Indiana really want
You-
Kelvin Samplin and Houston to win?
No.
No,
No.
no.
Nancy, the Baylor coach is from Valpo. He's an Indiana background guy and has
Right.
coached here a long time.
Yeah.
Be rooting for them.
Yeah. Well, Baylor's picked, are they picked to win
Yeah, they're
anyway?
Yeah, they're supposed to
Maybe
win.
just by
Yeah.
a point or 2, I think.
Yeah.
Well,
It'll be a good
I'm
game.
rooting for Baylor today, Nancy.
Well, I am too.
And,
You
but
know I live
I would
outside
have
of
done it
Houston.
also because of you. But then when it comes down to the final game, I'm going with Gonzaga.
Oh, you are.
Yeah, I'm Gonzaga too.
Yeah.
I'm just loving how they play.
Fun to watch it in town.
Man,
Yeah.
it's something else. So we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
Now,
I am
go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was just saying, I am so ignorant. Could someone help me understand this Gonzala scenario?
Say it again.
Gonzaga.
I don't understand what.
Well, Gonzaga is the name of a
Gonzaga.
small school in Washington State.
Spokane.
I
That's
was,
what I
Spokane,
thought.
Washington.
And
I was wrong.
Catholic affiliation.
Spokane.
Yeah, it's a small private Catholic school.
So
And
it
I don't know
does
what,
exist.
you know the enrollment, Jim?
Mhm.
9,000, I think.
It's
Tom.
not a lot. It's,
Mm-mm.
I don't
Jesuit
know
college. I may be
offhand.
dead wrong on that.
Yeah.
I mean, it would remind you of Butler, maybe 4,000 at the most.
Oh,
Yeah.
Don't they always have a good team? It seems
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
They do.
Coach has been there a long time.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
he's not going anywhere. So
Okay, thanks.
anyway, so that's Gonzaga. And so I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be, and then I've told you about this young man up in Quebec, Canada.
Mhm.
I found,
Yeah.
we came across, and he's a big Butler and Colts fan, and
uh-huh.
he's all the way for UCLA. So
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, really?
We're going to have lots of texting going on during the game.
yeah, so we'll see.
Yeah, totally.
So I'm predicting that Gonzaga and Baylor,
Baylor.
will be in the final game,
Yeah.
Okay.
and I'm predicting Gonzaga to win.
Is that Monday night?
Yep.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
We can do
Yeah.
that.
9
Yeah.
PM Eastern
Yeah.
time, I think.
So anyway, so nobody's doing anything fancy for Easter, huh? Today or
No.
tomorrow?
No.
Got my grandson coming over for supper tonight.
Oh, good.
Nice.
Yep, nice.
We're
And
going
they're
to a
cooking.
brunch. We're going to a brunch
I'm sorry.
in Fish Creek. It's about 20 minutes from here on the other side of the peninsula. For a 9 a.m., that was all was available for a
For brunch?
What's it called? The Whispering Swan Inn.
Okay.
Sounds neat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll report back next time.
Okay. Okay.
Sounds good. And you've not been there before.
Once for dinner.
Once for dinner, we were the only people in there.
Oh, my God.
Not because of the quality of the food
No,
or the
this was
experience, but
Like 3 weeks
COVID.
ago this was, and they didn't have they weren't serving very many people inside.
there was a Thursday night. They're open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday right now. So we're going back tomorrow.
Well, I finally, for the first time, ate in a restaurant.
Oh,
I think I mentioned when I sent something out that I actually had to work this week. So the first 2 days,
About
Monday and
time.
Tuesday, I had to work from,
Yeah. Had to work.
9 to 4 in the little town of Zionsville.
That
And so,
killed him.
each day we went to lunch at the Cobblestone Grill. And so, but that was, it's a big place and everybody was distanced and everybody still had on masks and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And then yesterday I went to a restaurant. So, and it was much busier, but still they had done a good job of keeping the tables very far apart, or the booths had plexiglass between each one and all of that stuff. So,
Wow.
so has anybody else ventured out to eat in restaurants?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have.
we eat out every lunch. Every lunch we eat out.
Oh, my
So
God.
I've been doing it for months.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, we've been doing it for months. Yep. And feel very grateful that we never got sick. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
but that's what my husband likes to do fine. So that's
Yeah.
about what he can do. So it's fine. Yeah, that's good.
And then
But,
you have
yeah,
a-
we were at
you have
Hot
a
Head
net-
Burrito today. I'm sorry.
Then do you come home and have a nice nap?
Hey,
Where'd she go?
Karen, we lost her.
Frozen.
Gross.
I didn't understand. Yeah, it kind of, yeah. I think she said something about coming home at night, afternoon and napping or what? I
Yeah.
didn't hear.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
Anyway, but
So-
yeah, that's what we do. Okay.
Karen, is your husband back to normal now? I mean, has he healed
Yes.
from his bicycle accident? Nope.
Again, and he didn't get very far. If we go up about 10 houses on our street, he has to turn back around. And so his back is still never, it's not getting well. It's not going to be ever what it was. I'm actually just waiting now to find out if he thinks he wants to get back on a bicycle. He kind of thinks he does, but he has not let me have his bike repaired yet. So, and he thinks he can repair it. So we're waiting to see how life goes. Our next big thing will be to see how mowing grass works. We have an acre of yard. And so that's, yeah, now this will be our third summer starting where we've needed help off and on with the yard work. So, yeah, I'm anxious to see how life goes here for this summer.
Mhm.
But things are a lot different for us. We used to get up and be on the road on our bikes at like 9:30 in the morning, come back home at 3 in the afternoon. And
Wow.
that
Gosh.
just, and yes, last year it wasn't that, but at least we were on our bikes about 4 days a week in the neighborhood, and we wouldn't be gone near as long. Don't mishear that, but it's a lot different. Life is different now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Karen, I got a suggestion.
I'll take it.
Okay, have you considered recumbents?
Yeah,
Three-wheel recumbent.
yeah.
Wow, that probably is one of the better ideas. Yes. I don't like being that low personally to the street.
That's true.
Karen,
And
Karen, I have
his-
I have a three-wheeler that's not a recumbent. It's just a
Right.
three-wheeler. And it rises like a regular bicycle, but you
Yeah.
can't tip over.
That would be the most ideal for him, I would say.
Do you have any
we're very
bike
fortunate-
paths?
I'm
Do you have
sorry.
bike paths around?
Yes, we do. And actually fairly close right off of our street, but it's a fairly short one. But boy, Dayton is very good with bike paths. We just didn't put our bikes on the car last year, as life turned out, because he wasn't really going to go that far. Almost to make it worth it, I guess is the way to say it. But in years gone by, we normally do 25 to 30 miles. As of, I'd say maybe 2 years ago, so it's a lot different, but I
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah.
suggestions. Yeah.
Karen, you don't have far to fall if you're that low.
That's good.
That's true.
That's a good point.
I'll tell him that one. Yeah,
Okay.
Well,
yeah.
if you want to know more,
Well,
send me a note.
Okay. About the recumbents, do you have
Yeah,
one
yeah.
of those, Jim? Okay, yeah. Yeah, his kids actually bought him the most expensive bike he'd ever owned last year in January, 15 months ago for his birthday. And that's the bike that got destroyed. And
Oh, no.
I mean, they can rebuild it, but they said for $100 difference, we can get you a new bike. And anyway.
That's
let's
what
just
I
say that-
do.
Yep. Need a
Yeah.
new
That's what I
one.
do too.
Get a new one.
Yeah,
New-
that's
Yeah.
for
Especially
sure.
if
But
they're
now we
awesome.
might keep recumbent. So I'm just more curious what he's actually able to do. So before we go buying another, $1,000 bike. So,
Yeah, yeah.
True, true.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So,
Wow. Well, I don't know, you guys probably aren't aware, but Jim Hope had really gotten into cycling as well as his wife, Carol.
Okay. Yeah.
So tell them about that. How'd you guys get involved in that? And
Actually, I've been, since I was in grade school, Well, Johnny Habing and I, who Johnny I'd never hear from anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, what happened to him?
I don't know.
He's out
But he and I
playing.
we used to ride all the gravel roads around Richmond for years. And the most ambitious thing we did was go to Union City from, which was, you know, it's the dual city, and
Yeah.
one half in Ohio, one in Indiana.
Yep.
That's the most ambitious thing. And but the bikes broke down, so I had to call my dad, and he said, "Where are you?" And I said, "Union City," which is like 36 miles or something away. And I said, "Well, okay." So finally, my brother comes up and gets us. But I was riding bikes off and on, and then my son Nathan, the youngest, decided he had a friend whose brother was a professional road racer. And so this influenced Nathan to get involved in mountain biking. So both Carol and I were taking him to races, and then I was finally the one to take him to most of the races. And so I decided, I'm not just going to sit here and watch people do this. So I got involved. So I started racing mountain bikes probably in the late 90s, and did it for a good 10 years until injuries started to take their toll. And we went all over the country at one time. We were out in Vermont. Mount Snow in Vermont. And that was probably my most satisfying race, and it was probably towards the end of when I was able to race. And we went to North Carolina, and then Nathan did a World Cup race up in Quebec, outside of Quebec. Mount St. Anne's, I think is the name of it. And so we had a lot of fun doing that. Although the injuries have cost me for now.
And you were 55, 60 years old at the time, or somewhere in there?
Yeah. I started racing when I was like 54.
Wow.
And then just kept it up. So it was a lot of fun. We had a team, and I was in the best shape I'd ever been in since being in the Army. So that was,
Jim, did you have an accident or just the injuries were from repetition or what?
I was in a race in 2005 over in Spokane, one of my favorite races. And it was in March. And so it was still on the edge of winter. And so
Can see you.
I was warmed up, ready to go. I had just gone, let's see, I was in the 60-year-old plus class. And I was sitting at the, hold on. I was sitting at the start line, and I've been all warmed up. And for some reason, the starter just was dilly-dallying around. And so I cooled down, and then so we started. Of course, when you're racing like that, you want to get a good start. So I took off, and not being warmed anymore, I hit the one little climb, which was pretty steep, and suddenly my lower back just exploded, and I had to drop out. I got to the top. I made it to the top, but that was it. And I had to suffer all the way home with that. And, you know, it damaged my my lower back, my S1 and L5. And the S1 is, is the, that affects your ability to stand on your toes.
Oh.
Hmm.
And then I got some neuropathy on my one leg or my one foot.
So no more ballet for you, right?
No more ballet. So it's affected my balance over time. I mean, at first I kind of recovered, and then but as I've gotten older, I kept riding. And my last couple of years, I raced cyclocross, which is probably the most fun I've had on a bike, but it's also the one where you basically ride a road bike on mountain bike trails and jump off and on.
Oh,
Like to go over barriers or up hills. You run
What's
it
wrong with
uphill.
Yeah.
That's something you do in the Northwest where it's muddy and it's a winter sport.
The winter sport.
Let you guys know, I received a email from John Browning out of the blue. And he is evidently, he has a house in Kentucky and another one in Georgia. And I asked him if he ever gets on, he sees our email or he sees our Zoom,
Okay, good.
but he said he has to get his daughter to show him how to get on.
I've heard that before.
Becky, do you think I should so obviously then I have a good email address for him.
Yes.
Maybe I should email him and offer to, if he'll give me a call, that I could get on with him and then just help him through it.
Okay,
If he knows how to get around his
He
iPad. or
should. I mean,
computer.
he's ex-military. He retired from the National Guard, full-time National Guard. And then they said he went to the VA hospital to work for a while. But his daughter had a little girl and his wife thought they should be with her. So that's the reason why they went to Georgia. But that was 3 years ago. So he's got homes in both places.
He needs
I
to
just-
make it.
I'm sorry. Good.
He needs
I
to
was
make
just
a
going to
decision.
tell you,
Yeah.
I apologize, I'll wait.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to share that just a few minutes ago, I got I think it was a Facebook from Sonny Clifford Hayes wanting to be a friend. I don't know if it was valid or not. And so when I said, I confirmed it a few minutes ago, he texts back and he says, "Oh, good to hear from you. How are you doing?" And I told him that we were on the RHS Zoom call and just left it at that, but I don't know if he's on the list or not. I assume he
Yes,
would
he
be.
Oh,
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Know anything about where he is or,
Carol
Yeah, big-
Fleming is coming to visit me in May, the first week of May. And we're going to go over and have lunch with Tom and Sonny one day.
Oh,
so that I
great.
can
nice.
know how they're doing. We think it's Tom, he's kind of on and off, I guess, with his health,
Mhm.
but we're going to try to, we'll at least see Sonny. So
Okay.
we can
Yeah.
report back.
Good.
I was trying to encourage him to get on to our Zoom call.
He did one time, he and Tom were on
Yeah.
in the very beginning.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. We're talking about Tom Pearson, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, Becky, I'll send him a message
Okay.
and tell him that, hey, just give me a call.
Mhm.
And then I'll call him back and kind of walk him through it because it's
Okay.
so easy. I mean, now you guys need to correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I know, you don't even have to have the Zoom app.
No, no.
All you have to do is just click on that URL.
URL.
Come on.
Yeah,
Right. That's it.
yeah.
And it says open video and open
Audio.
audio.
Mhm.
That's all you do.
So,
Real
yeah,
simple.
I'll give him I'll send him a message.
Okay.
That'd be great. I've been, real quickly, I'll tell you, you remember me saying something about where I got in touch with Jane Johnson finally?
Yeah, yeah.
Oops, somebody's trying to get Bob, hang on a sec, you guys, let me get Bob back on. So Jane I've talked to her again since then, and she's still having trouble with her email, and she is with, her provider is AT&T. So this week, when I finally got the recording sent out, and if you notice, I screwed that up. I don't know what I was thinking. But anyway, so I sent the first one out before I sent the oops out that had the right URL. But immediately I got a kickback. And it turned out there were 5 people, and they were all with AT&T.
I'm with AT&T.
Yeah, well, these 5 people were AT&T.net. It was Johnny Habing, Bob Kime, Jane Johnson, somebody else that I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up. It's one of those email addresses you're not sure who that really is. And then I forget who the other one was, but there were 5 people, and then it said something about that the AT&T had put in place recently some new kind of a security thing, and it somehow didn't recognize this email or something, and it kicked those 5 back. Now Karen, you're AT&T, but it didn't. It went through for you.
Yes, it did, but you're right. I didn't really read it. That's who I am. But anyway, AT&T did say that they put something extra on our phone, or I have all my things, my landline, cable, and website. Yeah, with AT&T. So I don't know. I'm about to call and drop them anyway.
Yeah, I've been encouraging Jane. She's a little hesitant to do it because I just think that technology just really kind of, freaks her out.
Yeah.
But I was telling her, look, why don't you just set up a new email address and just do Google or Gmail. Gmail.
Yeah.
So easy.
Yeah.
But I haven't gotten her over the hump on that yet.
Well, who's the provider that does Gmail? I mean, who would I go to if I don't go? Oh, so I go, Google would be a provider as equal to AT&T?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, this is ignorance.
No, it's
talking.
not.
Yeah.
I'm not stupid, but I'm ignorant.
No. I don't. Hopefully I didn't come across that way. No, it's that easy. I mean,
You just go to google.com and
go to google.com, and then it'll
say you
say
want an
you want to
email.
you want to set up an email address.
Yeah, but
But who would be my web provider?
it'd be whoever you have now.
Which is AT&T. I
Which
don't
is
want them.
AT&T.
I don't
Okay.
want AT&T.
Yeah.
I'm about to drop our landline too.
Okay.
I have only kept a landline so that my husband could answer the phone because he doesn't use a cell phone.
Yeah.
And so with that in mind,
I got a brother-in-law.
yeah, but with that in mind, he and I don't ever go anywhere without each other. So I think
Yeah.
it's kind of a moot point.
Well, okay, let me,
Okay.
Well, no, we have Comcast time.
Yeah.
okay, I have my email is bellsouth.net.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I get emails from AT&T at least every 2 or 3 weeks telling
bought-
me that if I don't drop this, they're going to cut me completely off, and I
Really?
can't get anybody's except AT&T. And I talked to somebody at AT&T, and they said, you can have any email address you want or make up one. They
Right.
can't tell you what to do and how to do it. So
No.
I just delete it every time
Yeah.
but they do
Ah.
this to me all the time, and this been going on. And another one is
Right.
sbcglobal.net. That's another old one. And I've got
Oh,
a
yeah.
friend that has that, and they get the same thing from them. AT&T is telling everybody, we're gonna cut you off.
Don't change it.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to cut them off.
That's
Right.
right.
Nancy,
I
that's
just,
funny.
they're-
My brother
this-
Jim
this
has,
world is becoming nothing but a scammy world.
You
yeah,
got it.
Yeah.
my brother Jim has Bell South, and he has the same thing
Yeah.
happen to him.
Right.
But
I don't
they
know if any
can't-
of
they
you
can't
watched
do that.
last
So-
week tonight. John
Gmail,
Oliver.
Karen, is a good one that a lot of people have.
I'm sorry.
Gmail.com.
Oh,
I know a lot
Gmail.
of
Yeah.
people-
Yeah.
Yeah. My daughter has that one. Yeah.
Okay, excuse me, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jim.
Jim,
Jim?
Hey,
If any of you watched last week tonight with John Oliver, it's on HBO.
Yeah.
Not
He,
recently.
he rails at AT&T just about
Yeah, I
every.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
Well-
just find it amazing because I apparently have some sort of, in quotes, contract that is supposed to be with, they're giving me a $60 off between now and September. And yet they have the ability to raise my rate every month.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm thinking,
Uh-huh.
what kind of
Oh, yeah.
contract is this? Yeah, so
Yeah.
anyway,
right.
a phone call needs to be made. I haven't done it.
Yeah.
A phone call needs to be made
Yeah.
for
Well,
sure.
good
Have a
luck,
drink.
because you'll be on the phone for a while.
Yes, you will.
Yeah,
And hopefully you get someone halfway intelligent to talk to.
Yeah,
Right.
but you can understand.
Yeah, there you go.
Mhm.
right.
It's English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
English, please. Yeah, crazy Comcast, where did they send me the last time to the Philippines?
Mhm.
When
Oh,
I
yeah.
had a problem.
Oh,
Of course, they never will come out when we're having the problem because we only have it when we have very high winds or it rains a lot,
Yes,
really hard. But
Yeah.
of course, they can't come out when it's doing that. So they can't ever find the problem.
yeah,
Get out of here.
right.
Hey, Felice, this is
Hey,
Tom. Yeah, I
Yeah.
missed 5 straight Zooms because our son and daughter-in-law were here.
uh-huh.
And I was curious how you're doing with your, what, 5th knee replacement?
Well, no, it was only the 4th.
Only the fourth.
So happy.
Yeah. But yeah, quickly, it went really well. I was in the hospital overnight, walked up the stairs when I got home. No
Really?
crutches. Yeah, it was
Stairs.
great. And I think as of this week, the swelling is almost totally gone.
Oh,
So I
fantastic.
think the scar will be there forever, but
Yeah.
it works
It
really well.
works.
Thank you for asking, and fingers crossed that number 5 will not happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
That
sure.
would, yeah, because that,
I
yeah,
hear that. Yeah.
yeah. They were both done at the same time 20 years ago, number 4 and number potential 5. So who knows, but hopefully not.
So,
No
Felice,
pain whatsoever.
0. Absolutely.
wow,
I mean,
that's fantastic.
I promise, cross my heart. It's-
I believe you, Felice.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
So
And
Felice,
it's, I've,
much better than the first kind of go around you had with the knees. I mean, I assume they do much better job these days. Is that
They,
true?
they do a better job. They have better material to put in
Mhm.
there. I was in the hospital 9 days with my first
Oh.
one,
Oh,
less
my
4
word.
hours with the 4th one. So,
Yeah.
and everything went according to schedule. It's just that the technology and the approach has changed so much through the
Mhm.
years.
Yeah.
And well, and the insurance companies. I think that had part to do with it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I wish everybody could be as lucky as I was with this one.
That's
It's
great.
great.
Wow.
Felice, do you ever wear anything like, where you are, I'm assuming you wear shorts, so I would think that your knees must look like football players.
They do. I wear a lot of capris, a lot of capris. They come
Pedal
because they
pushers.
come right, but pedal pushers, yeah, pedal
Yeah.
pushers.
Right, pedal pushers.
Which I said that to my kids and they're like,
What?
"Wow, what is that?" So, but yeah, that's what I wear. Not my dresses are just hanging there because
Yeah.
they're all above my knees, and who wants to look at that? Yeah. Hey, could I just ask you guys, you had all this talk about football and basketball and stuff. Did you know that Roy Williams resigned, the coach?
Yeah, I did see. Mhm.
Yeah, retired.
Yeah.
He's had
Very
a,
big news here. Very big.
We
Okay,
lost-
just,
Where'd she
Susie,
go?
you're now the host.
over there
Where'd
now.
she-
You're the host,
hostless.
Susie. Tom and Jane Ann are gone. You're the host.
That's what it says. You are the host now. Okay.
Yeah.
oh,
Where did
Did
they
you know
go?
they were leaving?
No.
uh,
Maybe they're auditioning for another job.
Well, now we can talk about them.
Perfect.
It's our chance.
That's funny.
I mean to leave.
Let's
Whoops, there
see.
he is.
they're
There they
coming
come.
back.
Oh, they went down.
We
Where'd you
were having
go?
fun.
You're on the lowest rung now.
They're muted.
Now they're
right?
muted.
Susan,
Whoops,
Oops,
whoops, there we go.
there they are,
there we
They're
are.
muted.
but still muted.
I
Bob,
can't.
you're muted. Bob and Pelt.
Yeah, but I was muted.
Maybe this is what Zoom does to people.
Hey, Tom, we can't hear you. Unmute.
Yeah, I'm mute, Tom.
Tom who?
Tom Porter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Tom Kinder. Tom Porter.
Hi, Pedal.
I have to leave. I'm taking my neighbor to the grocery and she's here. So I'll talk to you all next week. Happy Easter.
Fox.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. Can you hear him now?
Out too.
Yeah, you
Got
can hear.
company coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, we'll see you.
Bye.
Yeah, we'll see you next week then.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see me for 2 weeks.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, have
See ya.
fun.
Behave yourself,
fun.
Jimmy.
Bye.
Tim, are you moving now?
Yeah.
Pardon?
Are you moving
It's going
back to-
back.
Yeah. Is it happening now or just soon?
Next week.
Okay. Good luck. Hope it goes well.
Yeah,
How do you move across the ocean?
Yeah.
yeah, across the ocean.
She has to swim.
Okay,
All right,
take
see you
care
guys.
all.
Bye.
All right. see you guys.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Happy
Bye,
Easter,
guys.
everybody.
Happy Easter.
Have a good week.
Sorry for the
Happy Easter.
glitch.
No
It's
worries.
okay.
Yeah, it happened when I started asking you about your knees,
Yeah,
police.
Oh, too much information, was it?
maybe.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
It's just, I just remember playing football. There were so many of the guys had to have knee surgery. And so they had all these big scars on their knees, on either side.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
yeah. I know. And so many of them have grown up to be our age and have really, really sick knees
A lot of trouble. Yeah.
as a result of the quality, I guess, of the repair way back then. So,
Well, your most recent surgery, was it much less invasive?
no, it was worse because they had to take out the other one.
Oh, my gosh.
Rip it out. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
my gosh. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. So actually my second replacement, they only took out part of the pieces, not all of the pieces, but this one they had to take out everything.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
Christmas.
I
So
know.
now how many weeks has it been?
It was January 13th. So
Oh my
February,
gosh.
March, like
Hmm.
10 weeks, I guess,
Yeah.
about, or maybe a
Okay.
little bit more than that. But honest, I took pain pills for 2 weeks, maybe 3, and, tapering them off. And I haven't needed them since then.
Great.
I know, it's wonderful. It's great.
Great.
And do they normally tell you it's a 6-month recovery or
Uh-huh.
or 12?
3.
Well, they told me that the swelling might not go down for a whole year,
Yeah.
but yeah, I guess it just must vary from person to person, depending on your physical therapy, your general health, your weight. Are you looking at a replacement?
No.
No, just
I have a
curious.
friend and business associate who had it done about a month ago.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He's doing great.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah.
I'm so glad. Where did he have it done?
Detroit.
Like in
Let's see. Was he in Detroit? when
Yes,
had
he
it
went
done?
back to Detroit.
Oh, he
remember?
he went back.
Yeah,
He had it up in
somewhere in Detroit,
Detroit.
around Detroit. Yeah.
Okay.
He lives
Okay.
in Bloomfield Hills.
Okay. Heard
And
of it.
Right now he's down in Key West.
Yes.
He stays a winter in Key West.
Oh, well, I guess he's doing well if he traveled
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
made
yeah.
Oh,
that
gosh.
trip, So,
Yeah, this guy had a business and he sold it, I think when he was
Way back.
42.
Was even that old. Yeah.
Might be
and
right.
retired, sold it and retired.
Yeah,
He tried to, but he's a
he
super A+ personality guy.
Okay.
he thought he would play golf.
Yeah.
He
Uh-huh.
played golf for, what was it, 76 days?
Yeah. or
And he
something
finally
like
realized, I can't do this.
Yeah.
So he went back into consulting and training, and he's been
Yeah.
doing that ever since.
Yeah.
But now I'm talking him into cutting back.
Yeah.
I'm helping him start to slow down.
Yeah,
Okay,
if
so
it's
you're,
possible.
He's 2 years younger than we are, all of
okay,
us.
okay.
So he's 74. Well, I say 2 years. Some of you guys are only 75. You're
Yes,
only
I'm
75.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
I'm
a baby.
only 75. Yes. I think I heard Tom Kinder say that his birthday is September 20th. I think that's what he said. And he's younger than us. And that's my birthday too, which
I think he's a year older.
I think he's probably, well, he could be one of the babies. He could
Yeah.
be 76,
We'll
but
have to-
he was in the class before us. He was
We'll
in
have to, yeah.
62.
We'll have to quiz
Okay.
him next time.
Yeah. let's-
yeah. And I think he's the one that said that today.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but yeah, he was over there, which that's where he was. So
Does he know that you two have the same birthday?
no.
You have to mention that later.
Yeah. Different year, but same birthday. So.
Right.
Cool.
And then did you say you are not going to be doing anything special tomorrow?
Well, no, it's a little bit of a long story. My Raleigh daughter has a mountain house, and they're in the mountains. And I was already there this week for my grandson's birthday.
Okay.
Cool.
My middle son is in Michigan, and I'm actually going there in April to babysit. So, and then my baby boy, who is the one who's moving to Kansas City, is my husband's second wife lives in town, and she wanted them to stay with her for a while before they come stay with me.
Oh,
Okay.
So she got the first half of the thing. So they're with her. And I actually had lunch with Brock, my son, and the two girls today. But I said earlier this week, do you have plans? And he's like, oh yeah, Mom, we're, yeah.
I got you. Yeah.
It's like, and which is fine. I just want to make sure they had something nice to do with the
Sure.
Yeah.
And what about you guys? I don't know that I heard you say anything.
No, we're
Oh,
just
we're
staying
used-
home.
Since we don't have kids or anything, we're used to
Yeah.
doing everything alone, home alone.
Home alone.
We're used to that.
Yeah, okay. But what about, do you have like siblings or anything around that you would get together with?
The closest one is about 2.5 hours south for me. It's
Okay.
my sister.
Okay,
But one's in California, the other one's in South Carolina, and the other one is in Arizona.
okay.
So yeah,
Never mind.
nobody's close.
And
Yeah.
what about you, Tommy? Where are your sibs?
That's what I just said. The three guys,
Oh,
the three
okay.
brothers,
Okay.
Arizona, South Carolina, and where did I leave out? California.
Yeah.
California, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I only have one sister.
So,
Okay. Gotcha. Well, and Joy, I'm gonna hang up in a second, but my sister who lives here has a daughter who swims,
Cool.
and there's some US meet in Greensboro at the natatorium, so I'm gonna go watch her swim tonight.
Right.
And then tomorrow I'm having lunch with friends and walking the dog. So
Okay.
Good.
I'm doing something,
Good
but
day.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Normal
Now, one
stuff.
last question before you sign off. So your son in Michigan,
uh-huh.
where in Michigan?
He's in, Byron Center, which is a suburb of Grand Rapids.
Oh,
Okay. up
oh,
there.
I love
Yeah,
Grand
that's a
Rapids
great
is a
town.
cool town.
They love it there. They love it there. They've landed in a neighborhood with lots of couples their age, with kids their age at a local school. They're really happy there.
Well, that's
Cool.
great.
Cool.
He did buy a snowblower.
Yes, I hope so.
Yeah, and he's
I
using
hope
it.
so.
Okay.
So, yeah, but they're hoping to come back to Carolina. I don't know that it's gonna happen, but
Yeah.
Now you didn't ever live in Michigan.
yeah, I did. I lived in Alma for a while.
Okay.
Short time after I went to college. After I moved to Lima, which is where I went from Richmond.
Mhm.
And then I went to college from there. My family moved to Michigan, and I came back to Michigan for vacations.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I've lived a million places since then.
Okay. Now, when you say went to Michigan for vacations, would you ever have gone up to Charlevoix?
Oh, yes, I have a sister that lives in Petoskey.
Oh,
She used to live in Charlevoix, and we used to go to Pentwater for vacation in Michigan. Yeah, yeah.
all right.
I lived
Well,
in
that's
Alma, so, so you have Michigan experience, I
Well, it's
guess?
this friend that just had that knee surgery like
Uh-huh.
yours, he lives half the year in Bloomfield Hills. He
Okay.
owns a B&B up in Charlevoix. And every
Okay.
fall, usually it's was it the first weekend in
Sometime in
October?
October.
Yeah, usually the first weekend or maybe the second week in October, he would invite, and this is a B&B.
Like
He would,
16 rooms or something.
yeah, he would bring all of his
Whoa.
friends up and we'd all stay there and
And
then
party.
party and then help him shut it down for the season.
Hey, that sounds like it sounds like a fair trade to me.
Oh yeah, it's always a
Very
blast.
nice.
It's
Yeah.
really a blast. Yeah, but
Well,
and-
my Petoskey sister spends now half the winter in Florida.
Good,
yeah.
good.
Especially, oh God, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That would really be cold up there.
It really is. So finally, yeah, they go to the Fort Myers area, and I went to see Katie and Jamie from their house when I was there a couple of years ago. So I can't remember the name of the city, but it's a little, one in that
Yeah.
area. So,
Yeah.
okay, well,
Okay.
guys.
All
thank
right, have a good one.
Have a good Easter.
You
Good to
all
see
too.
ya.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
take it easy.
Judy must have had a barn crisis.